Okay. I think we're recording. Awesome. Okay. So what I'm going to do is a quick introduction, like just kind of show you the ropes, so then you can mess around with it on your own after you have some of the basics from what I can show you on my Slack. And then I was asking if you open your Slack, we'll try to share your screen so that I can watch you do it. I don't know if that will work because I'm kind of still new at the Zoom stuff, but we'll give it a try. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna share my screen right now. Hopefully this will work. And I can show the Slack screen that I have. So let me ask, before we actually get started, do you have an app? Are you using it on your phone or your computer? And have you
My computer, my laptop. I don't
Okay.
have, my phone doesn't have internet capability. I
Okay.
just use it for, it's just a phone.
Oh, I wish I had that. I'm seriously thinking about switching myself. So on your laptop, do you have an app or do you go to the web when you try to get into Slack?
Uh, I don't know. I'm a,
Okay.
it's not like right now, we don't seem to be on the web.
Okay, right. So what I have is I'm on a Windows computer, and you can actually download a Slack application for your computer. Or you can get into it on the web, both. So I'm not going to go through that part because that'll get kind of confusing if you um, it'll get confusing because I already have it installed, so it's not going to let me start from scratch, basically. But what I can tell you is that if you go to slack.com on the web, it will, I think, give you an option to download the application to your screen. So I can show you right now, this is not part of my browser. So here's my browser, or you probably can't see it. My browser is behind this application and
Yeah, I think I
separate.
can. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so do you see my toolbar along the bottom here? Or,
Uh,
or just, does it just
no.
stop? Okay. So along the bottom of my computer, I have the different applications that are open, like, and Slack just happens to be one of them. So
Well, I can see participants, chat, share screen. Is that what you're talking about?
no, you're right. That's the Zoom window. So you're okay there. So we'll just skip that part. And of course my dog is barking while I'm trying to record. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna walk you through what you're looking on the screen, and then when we switch over to your desktop, we can talk about what you have open, whether you have an app open or you're on the web, and we can try to do it that way.
Okay.
So first, I'm gonna sign out, and I think this will just take me to the web. Now, can you see this screen where it says sign out of Progressive Montco?
All I see is us on here. It's
Okay.
now, since you signed out, it's back
Oh, okay.
to see
So
people's
here,
various comments.
all right. So,
And you and I are in little boxes on the right.
all right. Let me see if I can make this part share here.
Now it says sign out from browser.
Yes, right. So it says sign out of Progressive Montco.
Should I do that?
No, this is all me. This is all me controlling my screen. I'm going to
Okay.
start out. I'm going to start from scratch. Sign out from the browser. Let's see if that will get rid of me. Okay, you've signed out of Slack. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm now on the web, and the address is https://montco-progress.slack.com. And so anyone who goes to this part of the URL will get a screen that lets them sign in to Slack. So I'm going to try and sign in. I hope that's the right password. Of course not. Here we go. Okay. All right. So what you're looking at right now, can you see this now? You see the Progressive Montco window with the
I'm assuming that is,
with a picture here. You see a picture, it says
yes,
mobilize and all that.
yes.
Okay, good. All right, so now we're at the Progressive Montco page. So again, this is on the web. There's a separate app that we'll go to in a minute, and I can show you how that's different. But on the web, you can sign into an individual Slack, or if you are a member of more than one, it will also let you see other Slacks listed here. So let's just talk about some of the features or what Slack does generally. The idea behind Slack is that it's a workspace so that there's more than one person who can use it at a time. You, I think with some paid accounts, you can actually work on documents together, but the best purpose of it is that it lets you organize what you're working on, and it can break, because it lets you break out your group of people who are on the Slack. It gets you break everyone out into different categories. People can address only the things they're interested in addressing, which I'll show you in a minute. And those are all called channels. So it lets you have different channels. And instead of getting emails all the time, so the idea is rather than using email to get email after email after email where everybody responds to the whole group and you have threads that are hundreds of emails long and they're on all different topics, the idea is that if you can use Slack, then you're much more organized. It stays all out of your email box, and you can only look at the things you're interested in. You don't have to look at sections or channels that are about stuff you're not interested in. There are certain channels that are for everybody. And Slack just makes all of that much easier to do. So let's take a look real quick at the channels. So for the moment, I'm going to skip this part up here where you see all of these different tools. These are like tools: threads, mentions and reactions, drafts, saved items. These are kind of for your own personal management of Slack. So if you and I, for example, are having an email or a discussion back and forth in Slack, that will show up under threads. Anything that you save, like if there's a meeting or something that you save in a discussion, that will show up there. So let's go down to channels first, because that's really the most important part. So, oh, I have to change that. I still have Montco for Birdie. We just changed everything over this week. So channels are the way that we break up what the different discussions are within Slack. And in the Progressive Montco, since we just switched over from the Bernie Slack, we're changing some of these. Not all of them have changed, but some have changed. And we try to make the name, make it clear what that thing is. Now, when you log into Slack, you will see different channels listed here. Because I'm an admin, I think I see all of them. But you have, like when people sign up for Slack, they get automatically assigned to certain channels, and then the rest are up to you. So you can pick which ones you want to be a member of or which ones you want to see. So let me show you really quick. This little plus sign is the way you can see all of the channels that are available on a Slack, on any Slack. Browse channels. I don't know, you probably won't see create a channel. I'm not sure if other than the administrator can create a new one. But if you click on browse channels, you can see all the different channels. There's 15 altogether. You can search for them if you want, but you can see the whole list. And then there's a little description for each one. So for example, announcements, that only has, everybody should be a member of announcements. I'll have to fix that. But for announcements, it's upcoming events. Campaigns are going to be different policy campaigns that we do, like Medicare for All or Green New Deal. Check it out is really just something that's like an interesting area. These are new things that are coming up people might want to be informed about. Events are specific upcoming events like webinars or hopefully someday in-person meetings, things like that. General is just what it says. It's like basically whatever else you can't find. Green New Deal, introduce yourself. So you should definitely go to the introduce yourself and say a little bit about yourself there if you haven't before. and so on. So I'm not going to go through the entire list, but you can see Medicare for All, Montco for Bernie, that's probably going to go away. And then all the way down to water cooler, which is really just like for, you know, hangout type stuff. So when you go to one of these, I think it will give you the option to join. See, I'm already a member, so we'll look at this when we look at your computer. When you click a campaign, it will give you the option to join that campaign. Or I'm sorry, when you click on a channel, it will give you the option to join that channel. And then what will happen is it will show up in this list here underneath channels. So let's go to a different one and I can show you. Some of these are new. So for example, campaigns is a brand new channel. So there's no discussion here. You can see there is no people who are members yet. There are no conversations or anything like that. So we'll go to one that's busier, which is announcements. Now, the other thing I'll mention is after you've joined the different channels, I don't know if you saw it before, but the word announcements, the announcements channel was highlighted in bold. And that means there are new messages there. So when someone posts something new and you haven't looked at it yet, it will appear bold in your list. So here you can see announcements is just kind of general things we are interested in. And Sue Stout posted this today about a US Senate campaign in Colorado. This is for anyone who might be interested in learning more about this person. And so you can see Sue's post here. If you post something into a channel that includes a link, it will give you this picture of the link. So the reason you can see this little thumbnail about Andrew Romanoff is because Sue posted this link to his website and to his YouTube. So, and that's true, you'll see further up. You can scroll up to see all the previous posts. Here's another one that she posted about her podcast. Sue Stout has a podcast called Square Deal. So she posts announcements about that. Okay, so, and again, you can scroll back to see any of the past messages, but if there are any unread messages that you have not seen, they will all show up in the list as new. So you'll be able to determine which ones you haven't read yet. So let's do this. I'm gonna show you now how to respond to a post. So you can actually reply to any of these posts. You can, well, I'll show you the menu. Here's one I posted to just tell everyone that we were changing from Montco for Bernie and we're switching it over to be, let's see, let me make sure that's what this is. Yeah, that we're gonna switch it over to Progressive Montco. And if anybody wants to respond, you have this little menu over here of items. It always shows up here at the top of the post. So you can add a little reaction.
Yeah, I lost your cursor there because you're behind the
Oh, okay.
pictures of us.
So
I don't know if I can move that or not.
you can move your mouse to the top of
there
the
we
window.
go. Good
Yeah,
enough.
and you can move it out of the way. Does that work?
Great.
So now you can see this little pop-up menu.
Could you hold on for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
I apologize, but I'm having trouble concentrating and I'm a smoker.
Yeah, no problem. Just let me know when you want me to go get started again.
Yeah, just take a couple minutes because I have to go outside.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, great. So let's, we'll continue. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, good. All right, so when you are in a post, when you move your cursor over the post, you get this little pop-up window here. And it lets you do a couple of things in response to the post. So the first thing is add a reaction. So if you like what somebody says, you want to give them a thumbs up or a hand, whatever, it shows up down here. So a lot of times you'll see there are multiple answers, multiple responses to posts.
Okay, I'm not seeing what you're referring to, and I don't see your cursor.
Oh, okay. So do you see Do you see this list of emojis?
No, I'm still on the original
Okay,
post
I
that
see.
says hi all in case some of you didn't get my email.
Oh, I see. Okay, so, oh, hold on one second. Let me do this. I think I realized what happened. Here we go. Now you should see it. Okay, now do you see the list of emojis?
Oh, okay.
There
All
you go.
right. I see where you're at.
Good. That was my fault. I
Okay.
paused the share while you moved outside. So that's, it's no problem.
Okay.
Okay, so
So yeah.
you can pick from this menu here, you can pick a reaction with it using an emoji, which I'll show you. I did one down here already. You see my thumbs up, but you can also
I
go in
see
here,
it. Okay.
put whatever you want for a thumbs up or a happy face or whatever, however you want to react. This little icon pops up too at the bottom of the post. It makes it easier. So if somebody wants to answer whatever, it's just a lot of people will post emojis to, just have a reaction like they would on Facebook or other social media, and to let everybody else know that folks are reading it and they have a response. But if you want to actually post a reply, you want to use this thought balloon, which is, or comment balloon, whatever you want to call it, which is start a thread. And so what that does is it moves this whole text into this window, but down here you have the chance to reply. All right, so I'm just going to type in a can't wait to get started.
Misspelled can't.
Thank you. I am the worst typist. All right, so can't wait to get started. And then you hit enter. So now there's a reply. I'm going to close this window so it's not distracted. But see now here in the post, the main post, you can see there's a reply to that post.
Okay.
And you can, so if anyone else replies, you can also read everyone else's replies in the side window. So you'll be able to see who replies and read the reply. Now, one of the things that gets people confused is if you're reading the, oops, wrong thing. Get rid of that. Okay. So can you still see the screen? You still see it, right?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
good.
good. So one of the things that gets people confused sometimes is, so here's the post that we're looking at, my post about Montco, Progressive Montco, and they go down here to reply. But this
I
is
see
not
that.
a reply window. This is a new message window.
Yes.
So if I type something here, happy to make the change, and I'm going to go back and delete all of these, by the way, because these are just like tests. See, it just shows up as a new post at the bottom of the screen in the line. There's no additional reply here, and people do that all the time. So you'll see a lot of people remember, like when they say please thread, what they mean is go to this balloon and create an answer to the thread you're looking at. So the other things you can do is you can share a message with somebody else on the Slack. So I could share this with you by typing in your name if I wanted to. And I'm not going to put a message, but I'll just click share. So I'm sharing that message directly with you, someone else on the Slack. And then you can also save it if you want, if there's a reason you want to come back. Let's see. Some of these are only going to come up if you are the one who posted the message, like edit or delete. That's only available to me. But there are just additional things you can do with messages on your screen in that window. So this is really key here. This is how you respond and interact with people who are posting. All right, so let's go back. Now, one of the things I'll show you though, when I sent this to you, what it did is it created a special thread just between you and me. So it's, even though this post appeared under the announcements channel, when I sent it to you, it's creating a direct message with you. So I could even respond and continue to respond here on the window and say, hey, John, I saw this post. I thought you would like it. Let me know what you think. You could respond back to me, but no one else would be reading that thread. This is just between us. And that's what's called the direct message when they talk about direct message. Now, I'll show you if we go down further, below channels, you see direct messages. So what we have on here is it's showing that I am active in the Slack right now. When we log you in, you will be lit up with green too. So anyone with a green dot means they are active right now looking at this same Slack, okay? And
Okay.
if you get a message from me up here in the where it says threads at the very top, that will also be highlighted to tell you you have a threaded message. You have somebody who has messaged you directly. Here's the threads, and you can click threads and it will start to show you where your messages are. So let's see. I don't know if it has the one I sent to you, but it doesn't. So yeah, so there's a couple things now that we've touched on. I'll just quickly recap. The channels are really important because you want to make sure you've joined the channels that you're interested in following. We showed how to reply to messages. You want to use the start a thread. You can click on emojis to have a response, like just a picture response to a post. And then you can also direct message someone, and that appears down here where it says direct messages. The other way you can direct messages, I can actually just click on your name or any other name that I want to direct message, and I can go down here and say anything that I want to just directly send to you. So I can say, thanks for coming on board and helping with the Slack training. All right, so that's just a separate message I'm sending to you through the direct message part. So do you have questions so far? I mean, we could stop there for a minute and see if you have any questions about what we've looked at.
Just to make sure, those symbols in the upper right that I don't see now, but were there.
These
The
here.
one, there we go.
Mhm.
The one balloon, the second one over the, yep, start a thread. That's if I want to, but that's also for response, right? Or is that the fourth one over?
Okay, so that's a really good question because again, everyone who uses Slack gets confused about these. When you want to start your own message, you can just type in, well, let's go back to a channel so we can talk about that a little bit. I'll go here to announcements again. If you want to start a brand new message in announcements, you can just click on the box that appears at the bottom of every channel. Oh, my mouse is highlighting all kinds of stuff. At the bottom, as soon as you log into a channel, you'll see this box along the bottom, message announcements, right?
Right.
So you can start typing your own new message in that box.
Right. I got that.
All right. And so what that does is it creates a new message for everybody else to see who's a member of this channel. But the little balloon is if you want, now I'll stay on where we were. I'll just continue on this message. When you highlight a message, what the balloon does is it lets you start a thread to reply to that message. So see up here now, we have reply. So what they mean by thread is the main message itself, the first message, and then all the responses to that message are a thread. And this is the part that makes it so much better than email, because in email, there's no way to have a thread. Well, you can sort of view it in some email clients as a thread, but you know, if you're discussing a topic on Medicare for All, for example, and everybody's responding to that, you'll have just emails all over your inbox. Where using Slack, you can reply to my message about Medicare for All and you can say something specific. So this is a threaded message. And so threaded just means it starts with the first message, and then all the responses to it are considered the thread for that message. Does that make sense?
Right. My question is that you said you can use that same format to send me something personal just that I see.
Yes. So what we did there, I'll show you back here again at the, I'm trying to make sure that my window here doesn't get me right. One of the other sections here is the share a message. That's this tab, the third one.
Okay.
So if I go to share a message, I can now type in Well, it will show me a list of all the members who are in the Slack, but I can pick someone else to send it to. And that will send a direct message just to that person. And that's where I picked you.
So what's the difference between using that form of starting a personal conversation as opposed to the one that's in the column on the left that you just showed me?
The difference is that one, go back here to, one is in the channel announcements. This is the one we just typed in announcements. That's in the channel. So the difference is everyone who's a member of that channel called announcements can see this thread, okay? So whatever you respond there is going to go to everybody who can view announcements.
Right.
But if I share something only with you, over here on the left, that only goes into your inbox.
Okay.
That's the difference. So
So I guess what I didn't get is how they were actually connected. I thought they were two separate things.
Well, they're separate in where they can be viewed. So when I share something with you, I'm sharing it with you individually, and it goes to this direct mailbox where we are sharing direct messages. So
in which case I would use, see, in the one case, I don't use the box at the bottom. In the other, because that starts a new thread. But in the other case, I do use the box at the bottom to reply directly just to you.
Well, let's see if I can make that clearer. So back up on my temporary message. The box at the bottom is always going to create a new message here. This is the box that says message announcements, or in our discussion, it says message Jonathan Hall. All right, so that says message. That means I'm starting a new message to you, or I'm starting a new message in the channel, whichever one you're working with, right?
Okay.
If I'm answering a thread, so again, I'm highlighting this message here, and I get this little box. If I want to reply to this thread and not create a new one, not create a new message, but create a new reply, that's where you get this box. This box that says reply means I'm replying to these messages, this message up above. So it shows up at the bottom of the thread, but you can see that it says reply. So that means you're replying to what people already said up here, as opposed to creating a new message, whether it's to you or to a channel.
I see.
So
reply versus message announcements.
Right. And the only way to respond to a message is to click the reply button. But you can put a brand new message anywhere on a channel or in a direct message to someone else. So we'll see if we can get you to try a couple. And by the way, I mean, feel free to you should be clicking on all the channels, reading everything, add your own messages, add replies, just experiment with it, because you can delete anything you do. Everything you do, you can delete if you don't feel comfortable leaving it there, but it's fun to just test it out and try it, because you're not going to break anything, in other words. So, all right. So really, I mean, that's really the basics. I think you'll notice when we log into your system, you'll see threads is lit up when there's a thread that you're involved with, whether it's on the channel or your personal direct messages. The channels are here where all the action takes place. And then direct messages are down here where someone is contacting you directly with a message on the Slack. All right.
Okay.
So let's do this. I'm going to stop sharing. There we go. And I'm going to just give this a try. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the recording here, and then we can just kind of experiment and figure out what's on your laptop and see if we can share your screen too and try to get that to work. So for now, I'm going to stop the recording. And by the way, if anybody has any questions about this and they're viewing this video, just send me a direct message or an email. You can email me to ask questions about the Slack and about the video. So, all right, we'll stop now. Thanks.